What's up, my steamy little fruit cobblers? This is Rob from A Gay Guy Plays, and today on #confirmed, we are digging into Primetime 266 yet again to take a look at some of the newest with Update 26. Now, if you haven't checked out part 1 of this video, I will actually go ahead and leave it linked up in the top corner. You see, they covered a lot in this particular Primetime, so I actually had to break it up into 2 parts. The first part are all of the changes to things that we've seen before. So if you want to go ahead and stay updated as to what's happening with reworks, what's happening with Melee Phase 2, as well as arcanes and mods and all of that, be sure to go ahead and check out that video. I'll also leave it linked down in the description box below. Regardless, as you can probably see on the screen, we've actually got a little bit of a split down the middle, which shows all of the agenda that they actually went ahead and covered. So now we're going to be going ahead and taking a look at Rev section, which covers all of the new bits coming with Update 26. So let's just go ahead and jump straight on in. So first and foremost, this is something that's not really on their agenda. This is something that I wanted to go ahead and point out. They've actually added more screens to the UI, which I know it sounds really small and really petty, but the thing about it is they kind of put out all of these different themes and all of these different color combinations that you could use for your UI, and I paid for them, right? They weren't given to me, and I was like, all right, I spent my money on this, and there were a lot of screens that were just like never touched. So it's nice to see that they're making more progress with the UI, specifically because it's something that I actually paid for. Regardless, let's go ahead and move into their first thing. Speaking of paying for things, we're actually going to get more config slots per item. So this is going to address both the visual aspect of it. So if, let's say, you have 5 or 6 different Tenogen Saren skins that you all love equally and they're all your baby and you really want to give them all the time to shine, you can now go ahead and invest into 3 more slots. Now, that goes for both your loadouts and your fashion. So basically what ends up happening is you can buy up to 3 more slots, giving you a full 6 slots for any of those. They did show on the previous stream that it was going to be 20 plat per. They've actually lowered down the cost to 10. Now, speaking of 10, they actually went ahead and made sure to limit this to any players who are Mastery 10 and above. And I think that it might have something to do with the fact that they don't want lower level players, you know, kind of like burning their plat on things that maybe they shouldn't burn their plat on, at least that early on. But for the players who've already kind of like invested into specific warframes and specific weapons, are like, go ham. Drop that platinum. Now, they're actually also kind of snuck in the fact that the Hallowed Flame Tactical Alert is going to be containing the Neighborous Ephemera. We've shown that on a previous video as well, but they did stress yet again that this is going to be an endless mode and only the worthy would be able to own it. So moving along, let's go ahead and jump into a nice hot ticket item. We have Grendel, and now we finally do have confirmation that his parts are going to cost Vitus Essence. So if you have not started doing your farms for arbitrations and whatnot, I would, and I know you guys hate it when I say this, but get into a group, and we'll check on that in a second. But basically, each of his parts, which is going to be the Neuroptics, the Chassis, and the systems, all of those are going to be available as keys. So you purchase keys to each one of those, and they are 25 Vitus Essence apiece. They did say that the reason for 25 Vitus Essence is because that's about the amount that normal arbitration players will get in a day. So it's like 3 days per piece, and when you complete the mission, you will get the part. So it's not something that you have to build, at least if my understanding is correct. Now, what they said is that you can be a key holder and you can basically taxi other people in without that key into the mission. So let's say you and your friend and another friend, I know I'm asking a lot of you, all jump into a mission. You guys earn your Vitus Essences, you grind up to 25. Right? What one of you can do is buy the Neuroptics, the other one of you can buy the Chassis, and the other one can buy the systems. So basically what ends up happening is one of you ferries the group into a mission, the next one ferries you into the next mission, and the last one after that will ferry you into the next. And boom, you're done. Get it knocked out nice and quick. Now, there is an interesting thing that you should be aware of is, number 1, keys are not consumed if you fail. they like really wanted to make sure that this was a contingency because apparently, now I'm not sure if this is 100% how it's going to be, but some of our old mods had like conclave ratings, and they said that they were going to limit the amount of power you can bring. Now, back in the days, these conclave ratings wouldn't allow you to put certain mods onto or you'd get a specific rating for the types of mods that you had on your Warframe. And sometimes there were limitations, like you couldn't go past a certain number. Sometimes there were limitations where you had to go past a certain number. I'm not sure if they're going to be using that setting, or maybe they're just going to have a setting where it's like, hey, listen, all of your mod slots are lowered down to 20 when it comes down to your your mod spacing. Not sure, but they did say you are limited to the amount of power you can bring, that it's supposed to be a challenge, and in order to find out how to complete the challenge successfully, you're actually going to want to go into the Lavarian. So go in there, do your research, figure out any whatevers that you need to do lore-wise in order to get the idea of how you actually win. But if you fail, it's okay, because keys are not consumed and you can try it again. Moving along, we have the Vampire Kavat. Yes, we did get more details on exactly how you can get your hands on the Vaska Kavat. And basically what it is you take your own Kavat out into the plains during the conservation. The Kavat must bite your Kavat. So basically what happens is your Kavat becomes infected, and then what you need to do, and here's the thing, when your Kavat becomes infected, apparently like they start to glow red, and I'm like, what if I don't want my Kavat to ever stop glowing red? I want a demonic Kavat forever. Like that's my life. But what you want to do is you're going to end up curing that Kavat. Now, I don't know what order it is, whether you bring it back onto your ship and then you take out the imprints, because that's how you're going to be making your Vaska Kavat. You're going to use an imprint from an infected Kavat and then turn it into another Vaska Kavat. So you will need another slot just in case. Now, what they did say, which was very, very interesting, which is Kavats will now get a third imprint. So usually with Kubros, you can only imprint twice. With Kavats, you should be able to imprint 3 times. And they did say something about giving us an extra imprint, like actually like giving us the imprint. So I'm not 100% sure exactly how that's going to work. But one thing you guys should be aware of is that if your Kavat gets bitten by the Vaska Kavat, it's not going to turn into a Vaska. It will not override your current Kavat. So definitely keep that in mind. But it will give it a cool red energy, apparently. I'm really just going to ask if we cannot get rid of it. So that's exactly what's going on with your Vaskas, and that will be launching with the next main line. Let's go ahead and move on to the Parazon. All right. So they actually went ahead and went into the equip screen, and you can see it now. And on your screen, it should show that there are 3 mods up top that are Requiem mods. So they have like a weird different shape to them. And then the bottom are the standard Parazon mods. Now, I'd like to call them like Exilus mods because they're like weird. Exilus, or like, you know, like little utility mods. But basically we had Intruder, we had Auto Hack, we had a Fail Hack Reset, we had Invis while hacking, On Hack Invis, On Hack Sprint Speed. So you can see there's a lot of hacking, and there's also going to be a lot of executions. So there's On Hack Lockers. Not sure what that means. Maybe it just unlocks surrounding lockers around you if you're hacking something. No. But there's health drop on execution, which is kind of cool. There's energy drop on execution, which is also really, really cool. Invulnerability on execution. There's magazine refill on execution. And, you know, the most important one of all, parkour speed on execution. Are you astounded? Like, you should be shocked and amazed right now. All of these mods will be available because they will replace the credits and endo bundles found in spy vaults throughout the system. So just do spies and you'll be able to unlock all of these mods. But I'm sure some mods are going to be like converted over. We'll see. So that is the bottom half of your Parazon. Now your top half is going to be your Requiem mods. Now these are completely new. Now you need to use Requiem mods to defeat Kuvaliches. It's the only way you're going to be able to take them down, and the order does matter. Now, they also said that the way you get the Requiem mods are from Requiem Relics that you can use in Requiem Fissures. Now, here's the thing. The Requiem mods are all kind of like the silver rarity, and there's 2 different kinds of Requiem mods. And this is something that kind of like raised an alert with me, and I think that maybe I need to like submit it in feedback somewhere. They did mention the fact that it's okay if you get multiples. Now, they didn't say anything further than that, and I'm really kind of worried that when you get these Requiem mods, what's going to end up happening is you'll end up using them on your Kuva Lich to defeat your Kuva Lich, and then all of those Requiem mods will be gone. And then it kind of turns into this farming system where we have to farm more Requiem mods, and it just, I'm not into that. But it could also mean that we need multiple Requiem mods because sometimes we'll have multiple of the same kill command that we need to repeat again and again. So I have no clue. They didn't go in too deep with that, but they did say that having multiple copies of Requiem mods are not a bad idea. Now, you get these Requiem mods from Requiem Relics. And these Requiem Relics, you can use them on Requiem Fissures. So Requiem Relics and Requiem Fissures are all basically tied into the Kuva Fortress. I thought that this was very clever of them, to be completely honest with you. So you get the Requiem Relics from Kuva Siphons. You have a 30% to get them from a standard siphon, and you have a 100% chance to get them from a Kuva Flood. I think that this is absolutely fantastic because it reprioritizes the siphons. When we came out with the Kuva survival, that pretty much just dominated the rest of it, you know what I mean? Maybe you do a Kuva Flood to get like the big bounty of them, but really, unless it was a capture and exterminate, you didn't necessarily touch the Kuva siphons. But now that you can get a Kuva Relic from the Kuva siphons, I don't know. I might be hitting up all them relics to be hunting down them, or hunting down them relics to get all them siphons. Listen, it's late. Now, you use these Requiem Relics in Requiem Fissures, and these Requiem Fissures only appear on the Kuva Fortress. At least that's what they made it sound like. So all of these fissures are going to begin at 60 to 70. To me, it's a little bit low, but you know what? I'm gonna say we're moving in the right direction. Like, listen, I'm not at all uncompromisable. I'm like, okay, as long as we're heading in the direction, I'm cool. So that is really, really nice. And they also said, which was really cool, is that the Kuva Fissures, the Requiem Fissures could also appear on the Kuva survivals. And I'm like, okay. 2 for 1. That'd be an exciting little night, you know what I mean? So that's how you get your hands on the Requiem mods to kill your Kuva Lich. Oh my god, editing Rob popping in here real quick because I completely forgot to tell you what items you could get from these Requiem Relics. So you'll be able to get an I-10 Amber Star, you can get 1,200 Kuva, or a Riven Fragment. Now we'll get to that in a second, and all of those are at the common level. Then of course we have the 2 Requiem mods at the uncommon level, and then the most rare of them all is the Weapon Exilus Adapter Blueprint, and do be aware that does require a fully built forma to go ahead and create. Now, with these Riven Fragments, and you'll actually see on your screen that it says a Riven Transmuter, but that is just a placeholder. These fragments are actually something that you'll be able to take to Palladino. Do you remember her? She was from the Chains of Hero quest. Yes, her down in Ironwake, and you'll be able to trade 10 of these Riven Fragments for a fresh Riven. Now, they do cap you out at just once a week because I guess they don't want you to go too overboard crazy with it. So that's kind of a thing. But I actually thought that this Riven Fragment thing was very, very interesting because I almost think that it might be a cool new resource that maybe they could tap into to do some cool things with in the future, you know what I mean? Regardless, I'm going to go ahead and pass it back to Pastor Rob. Boop! Now, when it comes to the Kuva Lich, they have a little bit of an interesting approach to that. So basically what ends up happening is, after you kill your Kuva Lich once, they're formed, and basically they start taking over the star chart. We went over this in a previous video when it comes to Kuva Liches. I will leave it linked up there. They will start stealing resources from you when you go and engage in those missions. Now those missions are going to be very similar to like Syndicate missions. They're going to be very similar to Nightmare and Fissures, where you can click on the node and then you're going to have the what is it called? The Lich node, and then the standard node. Now, when you play the Lich node will give you some insight as to what order you need to use your Parazon mods in order to kill your Lich. So that's why you want to clear off these nodes to get as much info as you can so that you can end up killing your Lich. However, your Lich will steal things from you while you are on those nodes. Some people did make note, oh, well, they steal relic packs if there's a fissure there. I believe that you can't play them the same because they're going to be two separate items on the drop-down menu. I think there's going to be a standard fissure node, then there's going to be your Kuva Lich node, and never the two shall meet. But we'll see. You never know what happens with that. So they're going to be stealing, all of the resources from you. Then you'll all get them back. Not every single bit, but most of it back when you end up killing your Lich. Now, the Kuva weapons. These are interesting because I was paying attention to the screen very closely as to see what weapons were created and what bonuses were given to them. So the very first Kuva weapon we saw had a damage bonus of cold of 25% on a seer. And I was like, oh, okay, 25%, that's kind of respectable. I don't absolutely hate that. However, when they went ahead and re-rolled to the next Lich had a 53% boost to another element. I didn't have it listed down here, but I wonder if the percentage is random. And if it's super duper random, I'm kind of between 25 and 53, that's a pretty big swing for how much of a specific element can appear on a weapon. I'm I don't want to have to hunt down different versions of the fire, I don't know, Dubba Stubba, so that I can get one with, I don't know, 80% on there. You know what I mean? It's just a weird feels bad RNG moment. One of the things that they did want to point out is that all of these Kuva Lich weapons, they are going to require a slot. They don't come with a slot on their own. However, if you do claim one by slaying your Kuva Lich, what basically happens is it gets put in your foundry and it waits for you to get a slot, basically. Then you can claim it when you do have a free slot. Again, you can also turn your Kuva Lich into kind of a semi-mysterious stranger who will randomly appear. So you can choose to kill them, but you get the weapon, or you can choose to save them, and then they will go ahead and appear in your missions and help you out from time to time. Now, I did want to go ahead and kind of sort of close this out with a weapon listing of all of the items that could possibly come up with the Kuva Lich. So we have the Shakur, which is a sniper. And this one actually reminds me of a couple different guns from different games. But basically, the sniper detonates heads with a slow-firing rifle that rewards precision. I hope they literally mean detonate. It explodes and deals damage to surrounding enemies. That's what I want to see. But basically, there are a couple new weapons that come with this. I believe that there are 3 in total. So the Shakura is one of the new ones. We have the Dragoon, which is coming in, the Karak, the Comb, the Ogress, the Kortak, and the Tonkor. Those are all of your primaries that can be Kuvified. The Brak, Kraken, Seer, and the new one is, of course, the Dubba Stubba. But it's known as the Twin Stubbas. I'm kind of sad that they didn't lean into that. You'd think that they're so Mimi, that they would go ahead and make it the Dubba Stubba, but no. Just Twin Stubbas. Now for melee, there's only one weapon, and that's the Kuva Shidleg? Shidelg. It's the scythe. It's the Kuva scythe that you saw before. And interestingly enough, we also have a heavy weapon that you'll be able to use in Arcwing, or you'll put a Gravamag on and you'll be able to use it in Standard. And that's the Anyaga. So all of these look really, really interesting. I hope that there's more to them than just elemental stat boosts, and we see actual, maybe little statistical tweaks that make them function a little bit better. I think that would honestly drive me a little bit harder to get these items and care a bit more about the Kuva Liches. But let's close it out on this. Kuva Liches only appear after you've completed the War Within. So this is going to be something that is found a little bit later in game. Just need to make sure that the rewards are worth it. Regardless, I don't know. I kind of got a good feeling. I'm going to be honest with you. This is the first time I've had a good feeling like this in quite a while. When I saw this whole prime time was just really filled my heart with lots of happiness. So let me know if it did the same for you, and if it didn't do the same for you, toss that down in the comments below, and I'll go ahead and review, and I'll catch my feelings and see if I feel the same way as you. Let's just have a nice little fruit cobbler down in the comments below. Oh, it just came full circle, and I think I just came too. Regardless, that's gonna do it for me for now. And as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch your body. Also, if you didn't watch the previous video, make sure you go ahead and check that one out. Lots of juicy bits in there as well. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye!